We're here with Rhea Drysdale, CEO of Outspoken Media. Rhea, you spoke a lot about ORM today, and a lot of people forget that ORM is a lot more than just watching out for what people are saying about you online. You talked a little bit about how there are different approaches to ORM. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I would say that ORM is a lot about managing your overall brand, and it's this intangible asset that people forget about, and they focus on how are they getting clients in, how are they getting new customers, but they lose sight of the fact that they have to be building a brand, something that's cohesive across all of the internet, that owns its username, that owns its trademark. And a lot of people come to us after they have realized that they've made some very, very strategic business mistakes. They didn't get their trademark, and now somebody else owns it on a social media site. They can't get their username. Someone else is squatting on a domain name. There's a bad review put out there about them, and how do they fix that? So, there's a lot that goes into it. It's managing personal brand, managing corporate brand.
So what you just talked about, that's what you say. What you said was reactive ORM. Are there other approaches to ORM that can be more proactive instead of just trying to remedy things that have already happened?
Definitely. I urge every brand, the best way to defend yourself is not to have a problem. And you do that by having really great customer support, listen to your community, answer their questions, have contact information that's readily available to them. Be available, listen, and again, maybe have an appearance across a variety of social networks. That way they can communicate with you, because in today's world, I think people are starting to get lazier about the channels and how they communicate with you. So if you are on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube and on Flickr and on your own site and all these other customer service sites, then it's so easy for them to go to you versus going to something like a ripoff report, which could start to really, really impact the bottom line. So.
Would you say that every single brand needs ORM? I mean, obviously everyone has a reputation. Everyone should manage their reputation, but does everyone that come to you need your services?
No. I would say that we're very picky about who we take on. We only want to take on people that really have a complicated problem, and we're very, very selective. Most people really just need to be proactive. They need a good PR agency on their side of the situation, and they just need to put enough stuff out there about themselves. They need to claim their username, get their trademark, get their social profiles, learn how to use social media. But besides that, no, not everyone needs to have an active ORM agency, I would argue. If you're a big brand, yes, because you're monitoring a lot of mentions, and you want to maybe gauge that sentiment, and maybe over the next 2 years you want to plot some kind of strategy that's going to help you improve sentiment from this metric to this metric. So for big brands, I would say yes. For politicians, I would say yes. But for everyday Joe, no, you don't. So.
You're only 27, and I know there are a lot of people who are really young in this industry, but I still find it really impressive that you're a CEO of Outspoken Media. How did you get to where you are? Where did you start?
Well, I'm COO, and Ray Hoffman, Sugar Ray, she's the CEO, and then our third partner is Lisa Brown, who's our CBO. Everybody knows Lisa from the blog, but I don't know, I kind of fell into the industry back in school. I thought I was getting hired as a web designer, and they were actually looking for an SEO, and it's the only thing I've ever done. I kind of floated around. I did the large corporate thing, and that was interesting. I liked getting into the granular side of stuff, but it really was like triage for me. And then I went over to scrappy startup side, and that was fun. But I really like helping people, and I wanted to get more into agency side. And I always wanted to be in business for myself. I like being accountable to myself. I like knowing what's happening and being in charge. So.
Now, to close off our conversation, what are the top 3 pieces of advice that you would give to people who are here or who are watching from home?
Let's see, top 3. I would say protect your brands. Use a site like Knowem, KNOWEM.com. Knowem, Michael Strecko, Barry Wise, they developed this about 2 years ago. Fantastic tool. Claim your username across 100 different social profiles. Also, trademark your name. People forget about that, because if your username is taken and you don't own the trademark, you can't get it back. So trademark it. Beyond that, invest in social media. That's something that's really important. And people say, well, how's it helping my bottom line? may not be helping you convert and sell products, but it's so important when a crisis hits. It's going to be the best tool that you have in your pocket. And if you've already matured those accounts and have a community, it's going to be so much easier.
I'm a social media strategist myself, so I love your last point. And remember that this applies to all kinds of brands, but also to your personal brand management. Thank you so much, Rhea.
Thank you.